No one escapes the isolation station, even the proprietor, and we'll see if the guest who's arriving momentarily is able to find the outdoor. That was Phil Thornalley, also known as Astral Drive, a great record of the same name, No One Escapes. Before that, the Go-Go's, Turn to You, and I play that because I saw Kathy Valentine of the Go-Go's was on Twitter the other day saying she was in a supermarket and heard that song the other day, and then it still gives her a great feeling hearing her songs in a setting that you're kind of surprised by them. And the show began today with Lady Blue. Oh my, I think my guest has arrived. Hello.
Hello.
Why, it's Rebekah Meldrum. And gosh, if you guys love the blues, you know Rebekah. Her record, which came out in October, was #1 on the blues chart and is still hanging around the top 10, so you got to love that. And
yeah.
She's a fellow Hoosier.
I am.
From Indianapolis? No, you're from...
California.
That part of Indiana, yeah.
Yeah, that part.
Yeah, I remember that really well.
That little town called Los Angeles in Indiana. It's up north.
There's a Mexico, Indiana, too.
Yes.
So Indiana is, you can be a Hoosier and pretty much live anywhere.
Yeah, I could. I've been here long enough to be a Hoosier, though.
And I should have remembered about California.
No, that's okay.
Because, you've almost adopted a Hoosier vibe.
Almost.
And I mean that in the best way.
Yeah.
So Rebekah is, she is a sensation, and she's a friend, and she reached out and said, it wasn't really a can I, but you ever look for a co-host? And I thought, what a crazy concept in this age of COVID, but here we are.
Here we are.
We're in my basement, and she was going to bring a bunch of CDs, but...
Left them all sitting at home, which is what I do these days.
That's what we call COVID brain fade.
Yeah, a little bit.
So anyway, we have plenty of music here.
Ken has just a little bit of music, so I think he's going to have us fully covered for tonight.
And you're going to dig.
Yes.
So this will not entirely be me running the herd, but I wanted to start today with the lead track from your album, Set Your Soul Free. First of all, what's the genesis of the song?
This album's all original music, and it kind of bounces around. I'm a preacher's daughter, so a lot of this music was written kind of from the perspective of this very weird club that I didn't ask to belong to, but was when I was born into it. And so this song talks specifically just about kind of people who wander and holding on to things and just kind of setting those things free. And you'll kind of hear that as the song goes through. But yeah, it's a pretty self-explanatory song. So.
And we had some news today that affects both of us, actually, me more than you, but we're both apparently perhaps going to be on the radio. WGRE at DePauw University reached out to me and asked if I could again submit shows for them for the fall semester. The students are back, some of them, but I guess they still... Either they like my programming or they're extremely desperate. I think it may be the latter. But my friends on 91.5 WGRE in Greencastle, glad to be back with you. And let's go back to the music. Lots of yapping. There'll be lots more to come. But we'll get to know Rebekah more. First of all, musically, though, with Set Your Soul Free.
Shelf, give it a dust, you ain't seen it in a while. Take time to reflect.
How I like that song. B.B. King, I like to live the love that I sing about in my thongs. We didn't know that about you, B.B. I mean, what happened? No. He is the blues boy, and we love him. And that's probably one of his less bluesy numbers, would you not?
I agree.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it's one that caught my ear as a kid. Before that, they're red hot. Todd Rundgren from his Todd Rundgren's Johnson record. And I could ask you if you ever saw the Todd Rundgren's Johnson tour, but we won't go there. Love that record, except for the electronic drums. But I love Todd, so it's forgivable, and the guitar playing is absolutely wonderful. And we began with my guest today on the Isolation Station on probation, Rebekah Meldrum with Set Your Soul Free. And that's a lovely song.
Thank you.
And speaking of lovely, besides just the obvious, Rebekah has been looking for music here. So she's not a terrorist, but she has taken over the broadcast.
And apparently his CD wall as well. I'm not the most organizational person. Ken is with his CDs, so I'm learning my place of organization and where to put the CDs back after I have pulled them off the wall.
It's like that scene in Diner, for those of you who are older, you got to keep them in order. And I am organizational to a small degree, but yeah, if they're on the wall, you keep the Jackson Browns in order.
Yes.
So, but she has chosen the next set of songs, and we're going to begin with a blues classic.
Yep, we're going to be doing some Muddy Waters. Got my mojo working. When I first heard blues, I was about 9 years old, and I didn't know what it was, and I wasn't allowed to listen to it. And so I would sneak off to the library, and I would spend hours and hours and hours in the library listening to old blues records. Muddy Waters was one of the first artists that I listened to. Mm-hmm. This is one of the first songs that I found, and it's got a really good catch to it, and it kind of makes you move a little bit. And then we're gonna play some Little Walter too, some Key to the Highway, another artist that I kind of stumbled onto. When I first started listening to the blues, Coco Taylor I ate, drank, and slept Coco Taylor. That was everything. I wanted to be Coco Taylor. I also wanted to be Punky Brewster, so there was a healthy mix in there. And then somehow I turned out to be this type of blues artist. However, Coco Taylor was kind of what led me into everything. Muddy Waters, Little Walter, Ma Rainey, Big Mama Thornton. I love female blues artists. I love male blues artists. There's not much about the blues that I don't love. So we're going to play some of that for you.
Terrific. The Isolation Station on probation with guest Rebekah Meldrum, Muddy Waters. Eric Clapton, Lay Down Sally on the Isolation Station, which is, I guess, still on probation. We're on WGRE 91.5 FM, DePaul University. Hoo-ha! And thank you guys for putting us back on. So maybe the isolation is, or the on probation part. The whole thing is screwed up, folks. It's 2020, damn it. Okay, we started that set. Actually, the middle of that set was Key to the Highway by Little Walter. And Muddy Waters started things off with Got My Mojo Working. And as a Chicago boy, I'm just in seventh heaven with my friend Rebekah Meldrum. We are in the Isolation Station. Henrietta is nearby, and I got to mention her name because I got to be careful because,
I don't know that she's that fond that I'm here.
Well, she knows you like wine. And anytime the supply is in jeopardy, she gets belligerent. But
I can feel her staring at me over there.
Well, she's in the picture this week.
She is.
She is featured along with your lovely countenance. This song, which is why I'm bringing up Henrietta, was requested by, or actually suggested, by Eric Halverson. And I hear you, Henrietta. Just stay in the garage. Your stash is fine. And we got to be really careful about this, but the wine is 20% again this weekend. So just keep it. Oh, she heard it. No. Okay. It doesn't mean you're getting any, Henrietta. The problems we create in this household, and the problems that, well, I won't
to
even.
be fair, you put it out there.
I did, and I brought up the name of my former Wish colleague, now a champion of all great grocery shopping, Eric Halverson. There she is again. And she just, you say it. It's like a see and say. Eric Halverson, hoot, hoot, hoot. Yeah, well, sorry. Eric, she loves you, and she loves your sales. I actually love your Joy Juice. That, the water, the Nestle water, I had some today after my run.
Yes.
That is what I look forward to the most. That is going to be the drink of the year in 2020, which may not be a really good title, but that may be the one good thing in 2020. I'll just put it that way that happened is Eric's Joy Juice, the Nestle, whatever it's called, Splash, I think it's called.
Yeah, I think you're right.
It's really good. The lemon, I would say, is the best. With the orange second and maybe the berries third. But we've meandered so far here, and it's my big mouth, and my guest is rolling her eyes. And
So far off track.
yeah, and Henrietta's in jeopardy because you're probably going to drink more wine than you would have listening to me ramble. But Eric had suggested, and this is a great idea, that we play a COVID version of Brandy, You're a Fine Girl, a song that back in 1972-73 was kind of a laughingstock. But this is a great version. So here we have Elliot Lurie of Looking Glass, which originally recorded the song. He's the original vocalist with the Young Guns Quartet. It's a cappella, and this thing rocks. You can tell that Rebekah is not in charge right now, but she's got more songs coming. So we're going to veer between the Ken stuff and the Rebekah stuff and try to keep the name of that hoot hoot out of the picture because, yeah, enjoy this.
It started to get to me.
Irma Thomas, that is so good. It's starting to get to me now. I could have probably sang that song March 10th. I don't know, March 30th. I mean, it's beyond starting to get to me now, let me tell you. Whoo-hoo, from the Isolation Station on probation. And back on WGRE. Hello, friends, on 91.5 FM in Greencastle. Before that, we had the Beach Boys kind of singing the same song that Irma Thomas did. I Just Wasn't Made for These Times. It is kind of amazing. You can live a long life, and I feel at this point I've lived a pretty good long life, and not imagine that in the blink of an eye, you can go from having total freedom to, well, I won't even go any further. And we got things kicked off with Brandy, You're a Fine Girl. Even all these years later, sleeping in that hyperbolic chamber has done wonders for your skin. That is actually a great YouTube version that's making the rounds, and glad to share it with you on the Isolation Station. Rebekah Meldrum, the great blues singer, is my guest. I want to ask her a question about, you talked earlier about your introduction to the blues. Where did you first hear blues music, and what did you do about it?
Well, and keep in mind, this was the very early 90s. I heard it first on The Cosby Show, and it was an anniversary special where all the kids come marching down and lip syncing to Cliff's parents' anniversary gift, and it was a Coco Taylor tune. And I had never heard music like that, so I wanted to hear more. And so I spent a lot of time at the library.
Because you didn't know it was a Coco Taylor tune.
Because I had no idea who Coco Taylor was, and I got really, really lucky. It was kind of a sign for me that the first woman I talked to was this phenomenal older lady who happened to love blues. And this little 9-year-old self of me walked up to the counter and she said, can I help you? And I said, I heard this song the other day on The Cosby Show, and I don't know who it was. And she said, honey, you're looking for Coco Taylor. And she took my little 9-year-old self and walked me. It was a very big library. So she walked me up a couple floors to the music section, and she opened up a door, and it was everything I ever needed with music. And I spent probably 2 or 3 hours that day, which was all my mom and dad would allow me. They finally were like, you've got to come home for dinner. And I listened to Coco Taylor. I listened to probably the first 3 albums straight through that she made, and so many different influences in the blues. But Coco was it for me, man. She was it. She was who introduced me to it all, and I'm so thankful for her. One of my biggest regrets was never getting to meet her or see her live.
But let's talk about the librarian too. I mean, what a stroke of luck.
Oh my gosh, when you have those meant to be moments, that's a meant to be moment.
Absolutely.
Because I never would have known anything had that woman not known exactly. It's not like I came in asking who Paula Abdul was, who was very popular at the time. Yeah. I came in asking about an artist even today's standards, a lot of people don't know who Coco is. So, but she was pivotal in kind of my blues journey.
And now we got Bonnie Raitt you've pulled off the shelf.
Oh, Bonnie. Bonnie's one of those artists that just uncompromising and effortless talent when it comes to blues and rock and just music. She's one of the greatest lyricists that I've ever listened to, and God, what's not to love about Bonnie?
And Have a Heart. Why'd you choose this one?
This was actually one of the first Bonnie Raitt songs that I ever heard. Because again, I didn't know who she was. I didn't grow up just listening to great music. I wasn't allowed to. So my introduction to a lot of these artists and music came later in life. And I started listening to Bonnie Raitt as a teenager and subsequently led into the amazing Jenny DeVoe, which is how I kind of happened upon Jenny DeVoe's music, whom I adore. And while I haven't become very dear friends with Bonnie yet, me and Jenny are quite great friends. And she's spectacular as well. But Have a Heart was one of the first songs that it's a great, it's got a great message to it. And
vibe.
Oh my gosh. It's got a groove that's undenying.
Graham Gouldman, Eric Stewart, known as 10cc on Not in Love. One of the first songs I played on the radio as a wee lad back on WHSD in Hinsdale, Illinois, the 10-watt 10 watts, Jim Mora, radio station of Hinsdale Central High School. Yeah, if you crossed the street and didn't have like an aluminum plate on your head, you couldn't hear the station anymore. But it was a great experience. Before that, we had a song that borrows heavily from that song. Paul McCartney, not to suggest Paul was stealing, of course, Ain't Gonna Be Kicked Around No More. And it's got those vocal pulsations that the 10cc song kind of made famous first in the 70s. That song recorded in about 1992. And the set began with Bonnie Raitt, Have a Heart. And that's something we all ought to keep in mind as we go through our days, right now especially. A lot of things kind of get your blood boiling. And the mask thing is obvious. You got to wear the mask. The political stuff, maybe we get beyond that in November, but yeah, have a heart when you're out there, folks. And speaking of a big-hearted person and a big-voiced person, a person whose talent exceeds 15 to me, Rebekah Meldrum is here today with me in the isolation station on probation, and we are talking about music and life. And what do you draw from the most when you're writing a song?
Oh, God. That's a loaded question.
So the Lord is... The
Lord has probably definitely served... I don't know that the Lord or religion more has
Sure.
played more into my music writing, but I've always said, sometimes when my life is going really great, that's really great personally, really sucks for my writing.
Artistically, never good. Yeah.
It's never good. So, if you ever see musicians out there, great artists, thank them for being miserable and all the music that comes out of that. I don't know that I've ever heard a fantastic or great album that's come out of like super happy times. I've tried to write about happy times. It's not as great. But, especially with the blues, you write about what you know. I know a lot about a very unique experience growing up that not a lot of people understand, but everybody's really super curious about. And it's probably the thing I get the most questions on. So I write a lot about just my experience. Some of it's really dark. Some of it's very teachable. But, it is what it is.
But, some of the parody stuff you hear is, somebody plunking away to piano going, love, 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 clouds, clouds, love you, find you. So you've got to find,
Right.
your voice has to be authentic, and you've got to have songs that contain morsels of you that are more than surface.
Absolutely. Well, that's what I've been asked many times, what is it that you love so much about the blues? And I've said it for years and years and years. I will continue to say it. It's a genre of music you can't fake. You can't fake it.
Right.
Some will argue that it is the easiest genre of music to play as far as instruments go, but it's the most difficult to feel. And it's that one genre that if you don't feel it, you're never going to sell it. no one will ever believe you. And so that makes it such a difficult genre. Now, when it comes to old country music, so much of blues is kind of what started everything. And people ask me all the time, well, what's the difference? There was gospel music and there was blues. Well, there was a pivotal fork in the road. Everything derives from gospel music. It derived from the church. It derived from the cotton fields and slavery. And there was this pivotal fork in the road where you either went and conformed to the gospel side of things and the church, and you aligned and you did what you were supposed to, or you said, yeah, I think I'm going to take my chances, and you went to the other side. That's where the blues side aligns with. And there's so many different genres of blues. You get bluegrass from it and country music. And even just in the blues, there's Chicago blues, there's Delta blues, there's Chicago blues was just because that was the first train stop out of the South. So you had it was like a melting pot of Delta blues and big city blues that just kind of all melted. And that is what Chicago blues is. But I digress. Back to genres of music. Country music, came out of blues and gospel as well. One of my all-time favorite artists is Johnny Cash. I love the original country music, George Jones and Loretta and Patsy. I mean, I love that stuff. I'm not the biggest fan of the new stuff.
No, mall cowboys. No, I'm in the same camp.
I know I'm probably going to get some hate mail for this, but Luke Bryan is not my boy. Like, no. I don't get it. I like the giant belt buckle with the pop music with a country twang is not country music to me. No. And we're going to play a Johnny song, Jackson, which is one of my favorite all-time Johnny songs. And that's what country music is to me. Now, if you ever get a chance, listen to some Chris Stapleton. He's kind of revived my faith in the genre of country music. I feel like he's taken it back a little bit. And he's doing a good job of it.
But this is the real deal.
But this is the real deal. This is Cash at his greatest. With June. Like, it's what it is.
We got married.
You can call it alone. Jackson Browne on the Isolation Station on probation. Back on WGRE 91.5 FM in Greencastle. Thanks for tuning in wherever you are. And Rebekah Meldrum is here with me today. Before that, she picked that song as well. I guess I helped with that one, didn't I?
You did. Well, I mean, I adore Jackson Browne, and there's nothing I don't like about Jackson Browne, but there's so much to pick from.
There is.
And I'm not great at deciding things. So and Ken was finally saying, all right, well, we got to pick something. And I said, all right, I'm going to make the decision of Jackson Browne. You pick the song. So I picked Jackson Browne. You picked the song.
And it wasn't, I like it because it's not low-hanging fruit.
It's a great song.
It is a great song. And the idea of calling it alone, because we all, do things for other people. And
absolutely.
And we don't expect anything in return, but that's the way it ought to be. Before that, we had Buddy Holly with True Love Ways. And we were talking as we listened to that. You could not, as antique as that recording is, you could not replicate that today. It's so authentic.
You can't. You just, nobody records anything nowadays without throwing it through a bunch of vocal boxes and auto-tune. And that song, as I said, I looked at Ken and I said, that song was created in one room with a symphony and a microphone. And that is why it sounds the way it does.
And all kinds of, hiss and anomalies on it, but it's real.
Nobody overanalyzed it.
No.
They were just like, that's amazing.
And one of the problems with music today is it's very sterile. I think
it really is. There's no emotion in it anymore. Because we strip it out.
Right. Well, it's like fast food. I mean, so it's chicken, right? Well, then, there's chicken and there's chicken.
Right.
Nuggets ain't chicken.
No.
I'm just telling you. Speaking of, the real deal, Johnny Cash began things with his wife, June Carter Cash. We got married in a trailer.
Yep.
That's the way to do it.
That's where some good stories happen, right?
Rebekah, if I ever do it, it's going to be in a trailer.
in
Jackson. Oh, yeah.
In Jackson.
Oh, yeah. Wearing a mask. Maybe, no, I wouldn't even go there.
Maybe we'll take the show on the road. We'll just travel around and interview amazing people.
Well, that'd be great.
I'm totally inviting myself to that.
Well, you're coming back because you left your CDs at home. So,
I did, yes.
So we're going to go forward here, and I picked this song out for you because you are amazing. This is Sondra Lerche on the Isolation Station. Damn how I have tried to treat Rebekah Meldrum like a lady, and she keeps hitting me on the side of the head with a newspaper. But we're having fun here in the Isolation Station on probation. Ken Owen with my pal and musical soulmate. Before that, I guess I didn't say, Cornelius Brothers and Sister Rose. Mm-hmm. And before that, we had Elvis Costello from his Punch the Clock record, which I adore. Love Went Mad. And started the set with Sondra Lerche from Norway, who opened for Elvis Costello around the time this record that we played came out. She's amazing. And Rebekah, you are amazing.
Thank you.
I hope I treated you like a lady. And
of course, as always.
The wine. Oh, there's Henrietta again.
Oh, Henrietta.
Keep the W word down. Because, by the way, I didn't mention earlier, and this is not a plug because I receive no discounts or even any fuel points for this, but the 20% wine sale is back on this weekend. Oh, she can hear in the garage. Oh. Yeah, anyway, yeah. So
At Kroger?
At Kroger. The beat goes on. So
if you buy 6 bottles at a time.
Right, but if you buy 12 this week, you get 20%.
Oh,
yeah.
12.
Oh, yeah.
All right,
yeah,
all right.
We won't even go to the other
into
hoot
the
sales
majors
they
here.
have. Yeah,
All
but
right.
We're talking about music and
yes.
And wine is kind of the elixir that
Agreed.
Yeah. So Rebekah, thank you for being here. And
thank you for having me. This was a blast.
No, well, we'll do this again. I would love that.
Absolutely.
And we're going to play a song of yours that really is special to you, and it's a song that is deep. And
yeah, for sure.
If you'd like to elaborate on it,
it's it's a journey. Sometimes when you write songs, you write them all at once. Sometimes you hear musicians talk about sitting down and I write a whole album in 3 hours. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you write certain lyrics and then you kind of pick them up and kind of put them aside, mm-hmm. and then you come back to them later in life and kind of finish them. That's one of those songs. I started writing this song a very, very, very long time ago. And, it talks about just kind of getting away, from the things that you should get away from, mm-hmm. and the things that don't make you happy. And, yeah.
So during COVID, obviously as a musician, it had to be an incredibly hard time. And I'm not speaking about it in the past tense like some people are. But
it's awful.
It is awful. It's still going on.
It was awful, and it's still awful.
Yeah, but you're playing again to limited audiences. And how do you prepare yourself mentally for that, being in public and doing
I will
that?
tell you this. It's been you go several months without any shows. And it was wintertime, and so, our shows are always more limited in January and February. But then, March and April, we were supposed to be on tour right now. They were supposed to be out promoting this album, and that didn't happen. And that's very strange to me. But when you kind of isolate yourself for a few months, I've never been a person that has ever dealt with anxiety. I didn't even know what it was. I mean, I've known what it was, but I've just never personally struggled with it.
I've got the same thing. Yeah. I feel myself becoming anxious in ways I never even imagined.
As shows have kind of started popping up, mm-hmm. Man, there's a lot of that anxiety of, I just haven't done this in so long. And I look to my musicians a lot. I look to Paul all the time and I'm like, it's like riding a bike, right? We won't forget how to do this. And he's like, of course. And it's always great and it's always fun, but it's very stressful because, most of the musicians that I work with do not have other jobs. This is their full time.
And usually not health insurance either. So there's a lot of stuff
There's
on the
a lot
table.
of stuff at stake. And when, you're making decisions based on if you're even one of the lucky ones who gets unemployment or the pandemic unemployment, you have to decide between your mortgage and your bills and insurance. And insurance kind of just falls to the wayside. It's a scary time right now.
So let me ask you, does this affect your art? Are you finding yourself writing more, or are you like
I'm
a
definitely
lot of us?
writing more now.
Okay.
I went through a very complacent period, probably in
You
the
too?
last 2 months, where I
can't imagine.
because, while yes, bad times create a lot of music and lyrics, it also creates writer's block sometimes because you have to I'll come home after a fantastic show and just have this urgency to just get everything I need to say out in a song. When there's none of those and there's no inspiration, it's tough to write. But I will say that, I've had a couple really phenomenal shows in the last few weeks, and it's kind of kicked my ass into gear. So I'm writing a lot more now. I'm finishing songs that I had started writing kind of before all of this happened. We're going to start going to the studio to record the next album very soon.
Excellent.
I could not be more excited about it. It's going to be a longer album. It's going to be a much more honest album. So yeah, I'm very, very excited about it.
Well, we're going to end the show, not to end the show, but end your time here.
Yes.
And thank you, Rebekah, for being here with a very honest song, Far Away. But before we do, if people are listening, where can they find you on the web? And where can they find your tour dates on the web?
Yeah, so you'll have to forgive my website. I was telling Ken earlier, I'm the most untechnologically savvy person on the face of the earth. And my website's not the greatest, but you can find me at www.RebekahMeldrum.com. That is REBEKAH Meldrum.com.
And Meldrum's MELDRUM.
Like a drum.
Yeah, just to make sure.
You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter. Don't expect much. I don't ever post anything on those. But you can find our music on Apple Music, iTunes, CD Baby, Pandora, Spotify. We're on all of those. Yeah. If you really want to help musicians, go to their personal websites and buy albums, because I make about 0.003 cents per song you download. So as all musicians do, even though it's my music, if you really want to support an artist, go to their websites, go to their live shows when they finally get the all clear to do an outdoor show. All of the shows that we are doing lately are outdoors, perfect amount of space for social distancing. Masks are required or encouraged. We are supposed to be at the Slippery Noodle tomorrow night. We will see how that goes. It is, they are forecasting rain. If it rains, I don't anticipate moving inside, so more than likely it will be canceled. So, but if you go to my Facebook page, we will definitely be keeping everyone up to date with that. I am doing a very limited festival in Needmore, Indiana. I didn't know that was Needmore, Indiana.
Well, we all need more, but again, back to Mexico
town.
and California.
That is an actual town in Brown County, Indiana, and I was supposed to be leaving tomorrow for the Bean Blossom Blues Fest, and that got shut down this year. That was kind of my last holdout. We were going to be on the main stage on Saturday night, so that is not going to be happening now. However, we have figured out a really cool way to do a festival on Saturday night. It is a max capacity of 120 people. We've got lots and lots of acreage. Camping is encouraged. If you have an interest, go to Facebook and message me directly, because as we're recording this now, I'm not sure if we're out of tickets yet.
We're right.
So
Limited availability.
Don't hate me. We very much are trying to adhere to the state guidelines, so everyone has plenty of space and has a good time without being in danger. So,
well, bottom line is we have a lot of time.
We do.
All of us these days. It's a great time to explore music, and remember that musicians, like the rest of us, have to feed their families, and music is not created out of the ether. I mean, sometimes it is, but if you're the lucky recipient of that ether, you should be rewarded for it. So, Rebekah, thanks for being here today.
Thank you so much, Ken, and thank you all of you for listening in. I'm so honored to be here.
Well, you're coming back with your CDs.
Absolutely.
Because you're like short attention span theater like I am.
Oh,
I leave the grocery store and get halfway home and go, damn!
Shiny keys.
Yeah. Oh.
Shiny key syndrome.
Far Away by my dear friend Rebekah Meldrum, and we will hear from her again soon. Thanks, my dear.
Thank you so much.
Waiting on a train headed south. Doesn't matter which direction came from, as long as it takes me far away. Away from the pain of this place, a place of joy and comfort, not of sadness, a place of love that I can embrace. until the clouds above me are all clear. Just give me a little space. I need to put my worries down for just a minute. I need time to forget your face. Living life in the in-between. We were in stress. It's definitely not a place for me. 'Cause I long to see the world. I wanna sing and dance at the footsteps of life. Kiss a stranger till my toes curl. There is a defining moment in everyone's life. A time to live for you, a time to take a slice of the pie. Oh, that's right. Windfall life is what I'm searching for. A purpose, a meaning, knocking on my door. Just give me that open road so I can find myself. After all, isn't that the meaning of life? In and of itself. So take me far, far away from here. Take me down the delta until the clouds above me are all clear. Just give me a little space. Need to put my worries down for just a minute. I need time to forget your face. So take me far, far away from here. Take me down that delta until the clouds above me are all clear. Just give me a little space. I need to put my worries down for just a minute. I need time to forget your face. Waiting on a train headed south. Doesn't matter which direction it came from, as long as it takes me far away.